Hey guys, welcome back to the Hobby Do 007 channel. I am beat, man. We have been doing Christmas decorations and we're late doing that this year. Usually they're up by now, but we've been dragging stuff out, getting it in the den, and Amanda goes all out everywhere. I think we're going to go easy in the living room this time, but the den is going to be decked out as usual. And tomorrow we'll wrap up the front of the house, the yard, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, it's been tiring. But this week I haven't had a whole lot of time to spend actually at the bench working. So I'm going to make up for that today. We'll do a little bit of an update, catch up on some of the stuff that I've done for the 40 Ford Modified, as well as kind of bring you along as I do a little bit of the touch-up painting. But let me show you where we are right now. Bring your model to life with MCV products. Visit them on the World Wide Web at mcvproducts.com. I mentioned in the last video, next time you saw this chassis, it would be in orange. But I ran into a few issues that kind of postponed that a little bit. If you remember, it's going to be painted box art wise, so the chassis is going to be orange, and the body's going to be painted just like you see here in the purple and white with the orange stripe. But I ran into a little issue, and I'll share that with you real quick. And we're going to paint this today, so before this video is over, it will be in paint. On the body, it went ahead and finished up scribing our lines for the firewall, the aluminum piece of bare metal foil that's going to be here, and went ahead and cleaned up around the edges there, so we got a little bit more final on our body there. I had mentioned too in the last video that this little piece here where it drooped over here, what did not fit and it moved around, so we heated that up, curled that around, so it's taken care of now. And the rear end, front axle, all that stuff is painted, and I'll share that with you here in a little bit too. But what kind of put the skids on this was, after I primed it, I noticed a couple little specks here and there. In the last video, you probably saw them too, as well as a couple of seam lines that needed to be eliminated. For example, right here, you can see the white through that where I've scraped that down and sanded it off. Also, blaringly, there were two little round injection pin marks here and here. So we sanded all of that down, and as I was going through it, I found a little piece of trash that got in the primer up here, so we got that out. And as I was examining it, you see the white spot right here, here, and here. There was a little round injection pin mark there, here, and back here too on both sides. So those had to be eliminated because they're going to be sticking out. So we went ahead and got those cleaned up. And there's a couple I'm not going to mess with. You can probably see that little injection mark right there. There's one of those on both sides, and there's one in the back here too. But the cockpit, the way it fits down in here, is going to be just a piece of aluminum looking right here down the side. So you're not going to see that because it fits really tight in there. So, and I went ahead and cleaned up these spring buckets a little bit more too. So we'll get our final coat of primer, just a light coat on that. But I've got everything that's going to be visible as far as those injection marks off. So I am going to shoot this, get it in the dehydrator, let it dry for 20 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and get our orange on that. So stick around for that. Also, the tires are done. The wheels have a wash on them that is drying right now. I'll show you those by the end of the video. The tires gave you a little sneak peek on in the last video, but what I did there was I broke out my pencil sharpener and a white chalk pencil, and just very lightly kept it nice and sharp, very lightly went over the letters. And from the chalk dust, it's good to have, and I shared this with you too, these Tamiya, they're real tight woven cotton swab, and they're pointed so you can get down in between things. I just moistened one end of one of these small ones. They make them in two sizes, and on one end I snipped this because it is a really tight woven. It's not a real loose cotton swab or Q-tip. it's really tight, really firm, and that made it easier to get that dust off. But with this one, just moisten one end and kind of, if you, from the dust off of the chalk, you can get a little bit of that out of there. And as you see, that works really good and really helpful on these front tires, which the letters were considerably smaller. But so it's not such a stark white. That blunt end, after I got it on there, I simply took and pressed straight in on each letter, and by pressing in, that just subdued it a little bit. This is a vintage racer anyway, so I didn't want these screaming white at you. I wanted a little bit of a used, somewhat used look, but I think they turned out really, really well. And yeah, these things are worth their weight when you're doing this kind of stuff too. And I don't know, put in the comments how you like to do your wheels and tires. I was going to use paint and the toothpick, the old method that I've used for years. And I've done this before, and since these were painted in that, to me, a rubber black, I thought, you know what, that might be the better way to go because it's got a good flat finish. And lo and behold, I think it turned out really, really well. And the thing is, guys, if you did want those a little brighter, like on a street tire or something, do a second coat, maybe a third coat. Not a problem at all. They also make a grease pencil that you can pick up at Hobby Lobby. These came from Hobby Lobby too, by the way. But you can pick up a grease pencil at Hobby Lobby, and those things work really good as well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get the, there's something else I'm forgetting I know that I've already got done, but we'll get to that as we go. Light coat of primer on this. We'll let it cure, like I said, about 20 minutes. Then we'll go ahead and I'll let you watch as we get the color on this thing. I've already decanted the orange, so it's ready, airbrush ready. All right, guys, stick around. Okay guys, we got a lot painted and things done. Sorry you didn't get to see me finish painting the chassis, but the camera died. So anyway, it is painted, and you'll notice this is it's not a fluorescent or a bright orange. It's just Tamiya TS12, just plain orange. They do make a pure orange and a bright orange, but I wanted this to be kind of old school, so it's just an old rustic looking orange. And let me get the camera hung up here and I'll show you what else we did. I've got the engine in the dehydrator right now. Go ahead and get my jack stands and everything out of the way. A few other things painted. Went ahead and brush painted our discs and calipers. This has been in the dehydrator overnight and I think it's pretty much done, but I think these look let me grab the tires. The tire backs, you'll notice the chrome. And by the way, I did do just a light Tamiya panel liner. Well, I've got the dark gray and the black and a little bit down in there just to highlight those wheels a little bit. And you'll notice too on the insides, that's titanium gold on the inside of the rims. I think those turned out pretty good. I really do. I'm really surprised for a solid, hard plastic tire how these turned out, but I'm okay with that. But anyway, front axle's pretty much done. The rear end, the quick change rear end is done. You know, we did this in the, I think it was Duplicolor aluminum. Had a little bit too much, I guess, metallic flake in it for my taste, so I did a pretty heavy wash of Tamiya panel liner all over this, and it really toned it down. I think it gave it a better look. Then I went back and put a little extra around where the plug is, where you drain the rear end dope, so you'd have a little bit of a wet look there, and I think that looks pretty good. Same thing on the tires back there. The chrome wash, or over the chrome, did the Tamiya panel liner wash down in there, and the titanium gold on the wheel backs. But I think this is going to look pretty good. Few things I ran into that I'm going to have to make some changes in, go back and redo, but that's okay. There's some trash in this piece that actually goes up here to the body, but there we go. Looks all right, but there's a little trash up in here, so I'm going to take that out, and if it won't buff out, that's fine. I'll just reshoot it real quick, no big deal. I did not hit that with the anti-static brush ahead of time. I don't know why I didn't think about that. This one, this piece actually mounts right up to that, and well, the roll bars hold it in place. Anyway, the idea was to mask off some of this. You saw me airbrushing in the orange, and then I was going to take and mask off some of that and paint the rest of this aluminum, but that way it matches the cockpit and this, but then right about halfway down it turns into, oh, sorry about that, turns into the aluminum down in there. However, if you look really close here, after the color coat was on, I did not see it. Let me see if I can get the light. Yeah, you see that circle right there? Well, it's not just there. There's 4 of them, and I thought even with the primer on it I couldn't see it, but when I got, now that one's not too bad. These 3 are really standing out, so I'm gonna have to go back. I'll block sand these down, hit it again with some orange, and then I'll after that cures, I'll mask that off and we'll be ready to go. You also noticed me painting the radiator edges in the orange, and then I masked this off and shot the Tamiya, I think it's TS14 gloss black. And if you'll notice right here, that radiator slides right into these slots right here. And I just did not want two big black tabs sticking out right there. So this way, let me slide it down in there a little bit. As you see, you'll have the orange in those tabs when it gets down to the bottom, and then I'll put just a dab on the top there too. And you see how it looks from the side too. It'll look more like a bar that is holding the radiator, which is what we want it to look like. And we did the same thing for the fuel cell. You know, you notice I shot the side panels in the orange to match up to the chassis. I'll set it in here, let you see how that's supposed to look. There we go. So we got these side pieces that are going to match the chassis and then holding the fuel cell in place. Just took the fuel cell out of the dehydrator. It is cured, so these straps on the top, I'm going to be painting those. I think I'm going to go with silver on those, as well as the fuel cap. And yeah, I think that looks pretty good. The intake, I went ahead and got a, this was that Duplicolor aluminum. And you see I got a nice wash on it. And the carburetor, man, that carburetor is screaming to be changed to something more detailed, because this kit carburetor just ain't, it ain't got it. But that's okay. It's out of box, so we're doing it. Got the magneto on there. Everything is looking good there. Like I said, the engine, I hand painted the starter and oil filter, so those are on the or in the dehydrator, excuse me. The cog belt is painted with Tamiya rubber black. Went ahead and got the fan on it. This is ready to fall together. Next video you'll see it together. And I don't remember if I showed you this or not. This is that top piece bar that goes between the front and back there after the cockpit is dropped in, so that's all done. The shocks are in the dehydrator too. Got some paint on those. Just got to determine my color of the springs. Let's see, is there anything else? I think that's it for the moment, guys, but I think it's coming along rather nicely. Now that I've started to get major components, color on them. Amanda and I are gonna be a little busy tomorrow, but I'll try to have an update on this in 3 or 4 days, depending on what's going on. I know she is going to finish assembling her engine. Her next video, you get to see her actually painting, and then priming and painting, and hopefully she'll have at least her engine and maybe one other section of the truck done. Don't know with the holidays like they are, but we'll see. Guys, hope y'all have an absolutely awesome weekend. Love you, man. God bless. I'll see you in the next video.